It's too cold for you here now, so let me hold. What's up, friends? In this easy guitar lesson, I'm going to show you how to play Sweater Weather by the Neighbourhood with only 4 easy chords. Okay, so the first step is to put a capo on the 3rd fret of your guitar. The first chord is going to be a C major. Your ring finger is going to go on the 3rd fret of the A string. Your middle finger is going to go on the 2nd fret of the D string. And then your index finger is going to go on the 1st fret of the B string. Then you're going to play the strings from the A string downwards. The second chord to this song is going to be an A minor chord. So you're going to put your middle finger on the 2nd fret of the D string. Then your ring finger on the 2nd fret of the G string, so the string right under that. And then your index finger on the 1st fret of the B string. And then you're going to play the strings from the A string downwards. And here's an easy hack to make sure that the C major and the A minor sound clean every single time. So whenever I play C major or A minor, I make sure to let my thumb peep out from over the fretboard, and then I kind of hold it against the low E string to mute it. Don't press it, because then accidentally you get another note, and that is not really what you're supposed to do. And then it doesn't matter how big your range of strumming is or if you're going to hit all the strings, because you're muting it, you're not going to hit the low E. So let's move on with the chords. The 3rd chord to this song is going to be an E minor chord. Your middle finger is going to go on the 2nd fret of the A string, and your ring finger is going to go on the 2nd fret of the D string, so the string right under that. And then you're going to play all the strings. So no thumb peeping out, you're going to just play all the strings. And the 4th and final chord is going to be a G major. Your middle finger is going to go on the 3rd fret of the low E. Your index finger is going to go on the 2nd fret of the A string. Your ring finger is going to go on the 3rd fret of the B. And your pinky is going to go on the 3rd fret of the high E. If this chord is too difficult, don't worry, because I'm going to show you 2 alternate ways to play it. So the first way is like this. You're going to keep your middle finger and index finger in its place, but then you're going to keep your ring finger on the 3rd fret of the high E. So it's going to replace the pinky finger, and you're not going to use the pinky finger at all. This is also a G major. You can also remove your index finger completely and play with 2 fingers. So middle finger, 3rd fret, low E, ring finger, 3rd fret, high E, or pinky, 3rd fret, high E. It does sound a little less full than its fuller alternatives of G major, but if you're a beginner and you want to make it easier for yourself and just play the damn song, then this is also a very solid G major. Okay, so the order of the chords is C, A minor, E minor, and G. And let me show you how to switch between these chords effectively. So let's take a look at the first chord switch, which is C major to A minor. My middle finger is going to stay in exactly the same place, and my index finger is also going to stay in exactly the same place. So all I have to do for this chord switch is to move my ring finger 1 string down and then also 1 fret towards the capo. So you're just going to focus on the ring finger for this particular switch. So don't remove the whole chord shape and then build it again. That's a lot of unnecessary work that you don't need to do. So C major, A minor. Now let's take a look at the second chord switch, which is going to be A minor to E minor. So now my middle finger and my ring finger are going to be the first 2 fingers that I focus on. Why? Because this is actually already the shape of E minor, as you can see. All I have to do is to move these 2 fingers up 1 string. So my middle finger then lands on 2nd fret A, ring finger on 2nd fret D. And then in the process of lifting it up and placing it back down, I lift up my index finger completely. So then it goes from A minor to E minor. Do make sure to change the amount of strings that you're playing here. So an A minor was A string downwards, E minor, it's all the strings again. So just make sure of that. So let's take a look at the 3rd chord switch, which is E minor to G. So now this one is a little bit trickier, so let's break it down gently. So the first finger that I look at is my middle finger, because this is the finger that needs to be on the 3rd fret of the low E the fastest. Why? Because if I play from top to bottom, this string is going to get hit first, right? So I make sure to practice this jump first and foremost. So from 2nd fret A to 3rd fret low E. Then I place down my index finger on the 2nd fret of the A string. And then what I did is I placed my pinky finger, because it happened to be nearby, on the 3rd fret of the high E. But you can also use your ring finger. It's really up to you. For me, it feels more natural to put my pinky there, because when I'm playing E minor, my pinky's already kind of in that area, so then I just place it down. But if you've learned it like this, there's not a problem with switching like that as well. And now let's take a look at the 4th and final chord switch, G to C. And this is the trickiest one. Why? Because you're changing the entire shape. There are no fingers in common. But here's how to make it easier for yourself. So the first thing I do is I make sure to tilt my wrist more to this side, so towards my playing area. And then I create space to kind of move my fingers effectively and then land on the C major. So what I do is I make sure that my ring finger is on the 3rd fret of the A string the fastest. Why? Because this is the first string I'll hit, right? So I'm going to do the wrist rotation and the jump. Again, wrist rotation and the jump, land on the 3rd fret of the A. Then I'm placing down my middle finger on the 2nd fret D, and then my index finger 1st fret B. This needs to be practiced separately, okay? So just do this, release, focus on the wrist rotation, and then place. Okay, so the strumming pattern goes like this. Down, down, up, down, up. But let's break it down in 2 parts and then glue it together. That's the most efficient way to learn the strumming pattern. To chop it up and then glue. Okay, so part 1 goes like this. Down, down, up. And then after that up, you're going to do a rhythmic flick of the wrist so that you land at the bottom part of the strings again. This flick of the wrist, where you do the strumming motion but don't hit the strings, is called a ghost strum. So it's going to be down, down, up, flick. And during the flick, you don't touch the strings, okay? So, like that. To add the groove to the strumming pattern, we're not going to do down, down, up, flick, but we're going to do down, down, up, flick. Down, down, up, flick. So here with the playing. Okay, so part 2 is going to be up, down, up. Again, up, down, up. And now let's add the groove to this as well. So it's going to be up, down, up. Now if you glue together, it's going to be down, down, up, flick, up, down, up. So now it's time to bring the chords and the strumming pattern together like this. So you're going to do 1 loop per chord. So it's going to be C, 1, A minor, E minor, and then G also gets 1 loop, like this. So now let's bring everything together in a nice and slow play along. Quick tip to make these chord switches and the strumming sound even smoother, try switching the chords on the last upstroke of each loop. So when you have that strumming pattern, down, down, up, down, up, try switching on the last up. So it looks like this. Down, down, up, down, up, and then switch. Down, down, up, and then switch. Like that. It will be a lot easier for you. So let's start the slow and smooth play along. I'm going to count 4 times prior. So friends, that's how you play Sweater Weather on the guitar with only 4 easy chords. But if you want to learn more cool songs, click this playlist on screen and we will continue your learning journey on the guitar. I'll see you there.